This is Breakfast Daily on Citi TV. Thank you so much for spending your Monday morning with us. Now, I told you that we have a very special guest today. He's Okyeame Kwame. He's a songwriter, he's a musician, he's an entrepreneur and a philanthropist. And today we want to get to know him a bit better. What makes Okyeame Kwame? How far has the journey been? Highs, lows, and what we should expect from him come tomorrow and next year. Good morning, Okyeame Kwame.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm great. You look amazing.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. How has your year been so far?
Amazing. You know, this year is a special year for me because you know that from the whole year I promised Ghanaians that I was going to expend my time and energy on pushing the Made in Ghana agenda.
Yes. Yeah.
And from January till now, so I released an album that did very well.
Yeah.
And then
I made in Ghana.
Exactly. And from January till now, almost 60% of my energies have been going there. And I'm amazed. Like,
how many regions have you been to this year?
Oh, I think all the regions.
Wow.
Yes, all the regions.
Wow.
I released an album. We've done videos representing the tourist sites in town, and then we've done like a videomentary or a documentary that will come out next year.
Nice.
And then we've pushed the Made in Ghana agenda. We've used social media to push it. I have Made in Ghana Lady of the Day, Made in Ghana Gentleman of the Day, Made in Ghana Child of the Day.
How important is it for us to be deliberate about promoting what's ours?
About Made in Ghana?
Yes.
You know, I don't even know where to start. But I think that if we've always had people trying to arrest the dollar, trying to fix the economy, GDP, all of that, it just comes back to the macroeconomy, which is producing in Ghana and making sure that we buy it in Ghana to the point where we can begin to export. When that happens, our balance of trade deficit will obviously be brought down. Once the balance of trade deficits are down, development will emerge. Everything, IT, technology, families will be happier, governments will be easier, the people will be more educated, and Ghana will develop. Beyond economics, I think that the Made in Ghana concept or love for Made in Ghana rice and Made in Ghana shirts and prints, it develops a certain part of your brain that gives you identity. Yeah. When a person has identity and it's original, that person can develop off where our forefathers broke off. Yeah. You know, so it is very, very important for us to begin to understand that there's wisdom in our language. There's wisdom in the prints. There's wisdom in your hair. There's wisdom in the way you look. There's wisdom in your hips. There's, you know, as African people, reigniting our identity, it's, I don't want to say the only way, it's one of the most important things for us to do for ourselves and our children to come and see that, oh, so my daddy was proud of who he is or who he was as a Ghanaian. Therefore, let me even be prouder, if that's even a word. Yeah. You know, so for concept of identity, we develop the arts. Everything will work if we decide to love what we produce. And I am waiting for the day when we get to the point where you go to town and before you buy a watch, you ask, is there one that is made in Ghana? Yeah. Before you buy prints, was this printed at KNUST? Yeah. Or is this GTP? Or is it coming from China? Before you buy rice. And you know what's happening? This Christmas, lots of people, lots of companies have been calling me, requesting to buy Made in Ghana rice for their workers. Wow. I'm telling you, even Darling, yes, even Darling, they said that they are not buying any type of rice.
But
because made in Ghana rice and Made in Ghana oil. You know, so
we've come a long way.
Oh, yes.
Okay, so we'll get into your push for Made in Ghana, amongst other things. But who is Okyeame Kwame? Tell us, how did you grow up? How did you end up becoming a rapper who's also passionate about economic development, our sense of identity? How?
Wow, you know, in Asia, the biggest question, the most difficult question to ask someone is, who are you?
Really?
Yes.
Why?
Let me tell you a joke. So there's this guy, a rich guy in America, who is going to get on a flight, and then he gets there a little late, so the business class line is done. So it's left with us, the regular people.
The economy class folks.
Yes, he quickly comes inside into the queue, and the lady is telling her to please step out.
Yeah.
And then he said, do you know who I am? Do you know who I am? Then the lady...
Was he a Ghanaian?
No, the white man.
Okay.
Do you know who I am? Then the lady started speaking in the PA system. Hello, Mr. Who's supposed to be her boss. There's a gentleman here who doesn't know who he is. Can you please come and remind me? You know that. So coming back to who are you? I'm a Ghanaian artist.
No, where did you grow up? We know who you are.
Yes, I'm a Ghanaian artist who was born in Kumasi.
Okay.
To an accountant dad and a teacher mother. You know, so I was born at Ashtown, a place in Kumasi, similar to Adabraka. Yeah, it's in the center of it's like a 10 minutes walk from Kejetia, or like Circle. You know, very similar to Adabraka. It's not a place for the rich, but lots of great people have emerged from Ashtown, from President Kufuor to the so many great people, really, including Kofi Annan and the Zimbabwean president that was tough. Was the one that Mugabe. Yes, all of them grew up in Ashtown.
The Zimbabwean president that was tough.
Yes, so I grew up in Ashtown, a place just like Adabraka, where my parents were not they were not as protective as I have been on my parents. They allowed us to play ball in the main street. They allowed us to walk in town. I got the opportunity to walk to school.
Wow.
So I grew up in a FIKCM setting where there are like 50 families in one house with one toilet. You know, so I got the opportunity to experience life from the different, views of all the other families, people, the gentleman in the house who's been given the light bill and water bill and he's chopped it, and divorces, and, people who are just living in that place and then they go to America, they come back rich, they build their own house in the suburbs. So I got the opportunity to see that. From that, I moved to Fantino Town. Then when I was a kid, there's something that I have to say. When I was a kid, I was dyslexic. Really? So I couldn't read because 2 reasons. My mother was a teacher, and wherever I would go to school, she would tell her friend teacher, maybe I grow in any so. So teacher trying to teach me would be hitting my head with the cane.
Because they didn't know that you had the condition.
Yeah, because at that time, 35 years ago, who knew about dyslexia in Ghana? So they would be beating me. So every time I would go to school, I would be sad and depressed.
So you didn't enjoy school
at
much?
all. I didn't enjoy school. So because of that, I wasn't very smart. I was a little below average.
Wow.
So I went through secondary school, through primary school to secondary school. Then I found rap. So when I finished my O-levels, I got 9 in everything.
Wow.
9. But I wanted to rap, except Chi. I got 1 in Chi. But I wanted to rap.
You got 1 in Chi?
Yeah, but I got 9 in everything. So I went to this guy called Lord Marcus, and I said, Lord, can you please teach me how to rap?
What did you like about rap?
Because my mother had taught me so many poems in the local language that I was prolific with speech. So when I was 5, I knew I was going to do something related to oratory, but I didn't know what it was. Yeah. And then around that time, Shabba Ranks and Lady Saw and Randy MC, Big Daddy King, rap had become the gem, and everyone was catching the fever. So I caught the fever too. So Shabba Ranks would sneeze in Jamaica and I would catch a cold. So we're all rapping. And I remember my mom would say, so I didn't know I wanted to be a rapper. Yeah. But when rap became popular, there was this guy called Lord Marcus. He's coming back for a year of return.
Nice.
I went to him and said, Lord, can you please teach me how to rap? He said, bring your O-level results. So I gave him my results. And then he said, what say? Rap is for smart people. So this guy will give me a book.
But you got a 1 in 3, that should count for something.
Exactly. So it means if I
you apply yourself, you can do it.
So he'll give me a book and say, go and underline all the metaphors. And bring it back in 4 days. Then underline all the similes, underline all the alliterations, underline all the oxymorons. So in a year, when I was ready for my Second World War, I had experienced the world like never before. So this guy, who was 2 years older than me, had been able to crack my brain and get me sharper than...
And he didn't hit you the way the teachers were doing.
My parents and my teachers were worrying me. So I did my Second World War and I got 1s in everything.
Wow.
Maths, English, everything.
What was different about this time around that you did so good?
I think that's because he got me to read about 300 books in a year. I was exposed to France without having to go there. Yeah. I was exposed to Germany, South Africa. I enjoyed life from so many writers' perspectives.
And
I
learning
had
was more
experienced
fun.
romance. Exactly. And because my brain had opened up, I could take in economics and government, and all those things became really simple for me.
Wow.
Because he made me literate, so when I went to my sixth form, then I started paying attention to books. I became excited about books, and fortunately after sixth form, Kofi and I released our first album in 97.
How was that like?
I remember.
Your first album?
I remember that it took us 5 years to record the album. And
wow.
Yes.
5 years.
5 years to record it. And when we finished we started recording the album in 92. It came out in 97.
What was that process like?
Oh, man.
And to see the finished product.
I remember that everywhere we do take our demo, they will listen to the demo and say, I don't know, rap. I don't know, why don't you sing like Amachi Dede? This thing is noisy. But we didn't give up. And then Reggie Rockstone came out, and he was smashing with his dreadlocks and his camo, all the swag. So it told Ghanaians that, this thing can also work. Yeah. So a year later, we got a breakthrough, and Andrew Okyeame invested money in us. And then we dropped. But it was.
How important was that someone believed in you enough to invest at that young age?
I'm telling you, it's the most exciting experience. So because of that, whenever I see young people who are trying to do something, paint, weave, something, I am inclined to pay attention to what they are doing. Yeah. Because if Andrew had not invested his money in us, there's no way I could be here, expressing myself on national television, talking to a beautiful woman who's,
contributing so much to Ghana's music industry and our development as a whole.
I'm telling you, on 14th of February, 97, Okyeame Kwame played Brebro Bahema.
Wow.
At 7 p.m. at Joy FM, and I will never forget.
Where were you at the time?
I was at Alajo in Okyeame Kwame's one-bedroom apartment where myself, Okyeame Kofi, Lord Kenya, and Dasi Brejam, now we all lived in there with him, so in his one-bedroom apartment.
And how did it feel?
Oh, man, I remember his carpet. He had this hard red carpet. I remember I fell on the carpet.
Oh, my God.
When they played my music on radio for the first time, I almost died. It was such an elating experience. All I wanted the world to hear was that I can rap. Yeah. Okyeame can rap. And then we went beyond, people have heard the songs. Then we wanted them to see how cute we were. So we shot videos. Now, fast forward to 10 years later. So this is 97.
Yeah.
So around 2007, I'd gone to live in America, washed dishes, done everything.
What was that experience like? What were your expectations before you got there? Because this is the year of return. So give us a bit of your experience before you returned.
We did 3 albums, 97, 98, 99. We did 3 every year. We did an album. And then on the 9th album, on the 3rd album, we had been going to America. So I remember that Okyeame said that you guys should wear African print and look decent, and I want you guys to be the decent rappers that would differentiate from everybody else. Not to say everybody else wasn't decent, but that was his brand vision.
And people had this notion that rappers were kobolos and all that.
Exactly. So when we went to America, we saw baggy jeans and big sneakers, and so we bought some and we came down.
You're joking.
Bling bling.
Buggers are in town.
Exactly. So we had created alienation between the customers who were listening to Okyeame Kumasi rappers with deep lyrics, and now seeing us doing yo. It didn't sit well. So the second album sold over 500,000 copies.
Wow.
The third album sold less than 5,000.
You're joking.
Over 500,000. The third album sold less than 5,000 copies.
What did that tell you about being authentic and having a strong sense of identity then?
At that time, what's authentic? Identity. We blamed it on everybody. So
You're
we said
kidding.
Okyeame, who was managing us, was bad. We fought with the guy that invested money in us. We stopped working with him. He didn't pay enough payola.
How old were you guys in your mid-20s?
21.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
So we didn't even know that we had created alienation between us and the market to the point that they can't even find out who are these guys.
Yeah.
These guys playing Masanaba, playing high life music and blending with rap. And now you are playing some type of hip hop and you look
Wanna
like
be Jay-Z
wanna
and
be
Ja Rule.
Americans. So it didn't work. And there was a show at Bantima where Okyeame had organized for Lord Kenya. So we went there to support. And then when we screamed, "Why the rap, the whole crowd said, Lord Kenya, Lord Kenya. It was like a moment. So fortunately, we got the opportunity to go to America with Okyeame and Daddy Lumba for a world tour. We didn't come back.
Why?
Of course, what am I coming back? I'm not making any more money. I can't even buy petrol for the sports car that I'm going to buy.
Wow.
You know, I have so many girlfriends, each one chasing me to marry them at 22. You know,
but
so,
didn't it click then that maybe we should go back to our original brand? Or you guys were just
No. What happened was that we were so young and so inexperienced, and we had fought with everybody who could help us.
Yeah.
So the best option
isolated.
was to stay there. At least if I get a job for $9 an hour, I can earn something, come and help my mother.
That's
true.
So
we stayed in America for 2.5 years.
How was that like?
Oh, man.
Actually living there and working.
You know that in solitude, yes, I did everything. I did. I washed dishes. You can see the scars on my hand.
Wow.
Yes, in my palm everywhere. I washed dishes.
Did they pay you well? Were you a green card holder, or you were an illegal immigrant? So you had to. I had
a 5-year visa.
Okay.
You know, so I would extend it, and then I was working. Okay. But it wasn't the work, the factory work, that killed me. It was the whole opportunity to continue my legacy of Okyeame Kwame that I couldn't. So what I would do is I used to wash dishes at a place where Michael Dramina of blessed memory came to visit me one day. And then when they told me I'm in the kitchen. And then he came to the place, he couldn't find because I was washing this pan that was bigger than me. I had jumped into it.
You're joking.
So when I came out of the pan with a ladder, I saw he was tearing up. He was crying. He said, Ghanaian celebrity washing dishes like this. He was so sad, you know, so he encouraged me, you have to go back.
Yeah.
You know, he encouraged me. And then for 1 year in that kitchen, every day I'll listen to Bob Marley's "One Bright Morning When I Wake Up, I Will Fly Away Home. Fly away home to Zion. Fly away home." You know that song, right? Yeah, the words of the Rasta man say.
Being away in somebody's land and not being home. And
that was
to those
the
lyrics.
point where I realized that my real value is in my culture.
Yeah.
So I read everything. Once again, reading changed my life. Yeah. So reading and music became my coping mechanism. Wow. So I read everything. I read Quran. I read about Buddha, Gandhi, Nkrumah.
How did that solidify your sense of purpose?
I'm telling you. So every time I'm working, I'm washing dishes or working the railways, I'm thinking of all these amazing things. And then I'm thinking of how, when I go back home, I'm going to use this information I've gathered to change my life. You know, so like you said, it gave me a new purpose. So I remember that one day when I worked enough to make $2,000,
wow,
I bought a one-way ticket for $900. And I bought a few things at the airport for my mother and brother. So when I came back to Ghana, I had $1,000 on me to restart life. I came back to go into my mother's apartment in Kumasi, a small room. So I came to restart fresh. I remember there was a tiny album launch at the beach, or is it a book bag? I don't remember. And so I went on stage and I was trying to sing some of my old songs. The people say, "Boo!" Oh, nobody remembered me.
Wow.
As Okyeame. You know, nobody remembered. You know, so
how did that feel?
It was a depressing feeling. But I had read so many things about so many biographies that I knew that if you are going to recapture your audience, you have to do it with strength, you know. So I wasn't broken, even though I was depressed for about 2 seconds, you know. So I went back and I gave them a few skills.
I need to hone in on this before we move on, because there are people coming back home.
Yes.
Maybe they left 10, 20 years ago. And when you are coming back, they have this sense of entitlement that I'm Superman.
Yes,
people are going to recognize me. How important is it for them to be humble when they come back and understand that you have to regain that love and attention you had before you left?
I'm telling you, for any form of life, in business, in marriage, in the society to work, it stands on 3 pillars: strategy, structure, culture. You know, so you have a plan. Yes, you've gone to live in America. You've learned a few things about IT. You are coming back to Ghana to help.
Blow the industry.
To blow the industry. When you come, you have a plan. That's your strategy. And then the structure is what you are going to do with the people. But the culture, you know,
that's
the
difficult.
culture. I'm telling you, because wherever you got your training from is so different.
Yeah.
Things work differently. And here, this whole culture works differently. You have to get up for an older person to sit down. You have to wait, even when what you are saying is nice. It's very hegemonic. It's slow. It is how much am I getting back?
Yeah.
You know, it's an incentive economy. You know, people don't come on time. People are more concerned about extended family than profit.
Yeah.
Your profit-orientedness is nobody else's business. You're too known. You know,
Nobody cares.
Give 10 Ghana to the police and go in free. And, you know, all those things will worry you.
Yeah.
Because you are in such a hurry with the whole idea of agency that you know, to make things happen, that if you don't take care, you go back. Most of the people that we came back with, they've gone back. They couldn't stay after 1 year.
But how were you different now, seeing them boo you and being humble enough to say, I need to restart and not blame someone for it? Because before you went to the US, you probably would have found someone to blame for them booing you.
Yes.
What had changed?
Solitude. I was alone for 3 years. I didn't even get someone to talk to, you know. So I was set in my ways. That's one. The second one was fear of failure. I didn't want to fail again. I failed so many times in my life as a young person with education, with everything. I failed so many times. And then I also, as a young boy living in Ashtown, his biggest dream is to go and live in America. Meko Yankee.
You've done it.
And when I'd gone to live in America, I lived there for 3 years and came back with $900. So I knew that my other option, which is burger, wasn't going to work. So what was I going to do? Because at that point, I realized that reading was my coping mechanism. So I said that I am going to differentiate from everybody. So what I immediately started, I did something. When I came, Samini was doing something that was amazing. Samini was featuring on everybody's album. So I said, this is a good trick to emulate. You know, so I started calling people. I'll call Rexoma, Daddy Lumba. I say, I'm back. Are you doing an album? I want to come and sing on it. So within that time, I did 219 features.
Wow.
Every musician.
219 features.
I featured for everybody.
And you didn't charge nothing?
No. I was
just featuring.
I would take a bus from Kumasi and then come to Accra to come and wait in a studio to wait for the guy to come. Then I'll do the feature and go back.
Wow.
So I did all those features, and then I would also introduce my brothers who were sort of giving me back my life because they were young, different, and very exciting. The brothers, you know. So I was sort of enjoying the fame of my brother who I added myself to them, and then we were rebuilding from the scratch. And then apart from that, one of the features were Daddy Lumba, Kwame Lumba, the big boom. Big boom, you know. So if you hear the rap,
wait, what inspired those lyrics? By the way, was it a real life story?
I know. People say it's Nana Mama Brown.
I mean, clarify it for us.
No, it's not at all. You know,
really,
that song.
It sounded so much like it was directed towards Nana Mama Brown.
I mean, that song was written 20 years before I met Nana Mama Brown.
Really?
Yes.
So who's the woman who sacked you?
It is the song.
Who's the lady?
It is
you have to tell us. I mean, now you can tell us.
But listen. So many ladies sacked me before. So I tell you that I was used to failing. So many relationships I failed. I had sacked so many women. But that song, the lyrics in the song was inspired by Daddy Lumba's lyrics.
Okay.
You know, so I had to develop rap lines. So that to fit his rap. Wow. It wasn't about any specific person.
Okay, because it sounded like, okay, you're turning radio rap doctor. Now you're like, hey, boy, you have me jiving now. I am
hot. And truly, I was hot. You know, so
and you're hot. You're still hot.
You know, so one of the features worked for me and opened the ground again. Yeah. And then for me to now put my stars in the world. Mm-hmm. But another thing that really helped me was Michael Jamina had told me that when you go back to Ghana, go back to school. And I promised my father before he died that no matter what, I'll get at least a first degree.
Wow.
You know, so in 2006, when I was turning 30, I used the opportunity to go to Tech, and I studied Akan and sociology.
How was that like, being back in school and having a focus of, I want to get a degree?
I was so poised to go back to school. But what happened was, the weekend before we started from first year, I had brought brothers to do a music performance. And Kunta said he would eat Honest Chef. So I was driving to Honest Chef around 2. I guess I was tired. And then I had an accident.
Wow.
With my last rickety BMW that was going to flex at Tech. The
Oh.
whole car totaled.
Oh.
You know, so I took a bus back, and then so for...
But you were safe?
Yes, all of us were safe. So for one whole year, or 1.5 semesters, I took the trotro to tech as Okyeame Kwame.
Wow. What year was this?
This is in 2007.
You took trotro?
I took trotro for 1 year to tech. But fortunately, at tech, it's not trotro, it's called the shuttle. So I took the shuttle to tech for 1 year. You know, so that was the time where I was recording my album that blew up, that had also and
wow.
Anna and all those big hits that made me Artist of the Year. One other,
and the year again is 2007.
Yes, I took.
You get into an accident. You're taking trotro to school
for 1 year, so
for one whole
and
year.
Then, you know,
a full blown Okyeame.
I'm telling you now, at that time I was always wearing white because at that time I remember that Willie Soyinka was my role model, and you know he always wears white with a grey and a sandal. So I would go to school the whole year wearing white, standing out as Okyeame Kwame and joining the shuttle. People started remembering that he's so humble. He's doing it to fit in. No.
They didn't know the struggle. But how important was it, firstly, when you talked about strategy? So you understood, I'm new in the space. I want to get in. Let me start with featuring on everybody's album. Yes. Even if I have to stay and wait for the person for hours, let me do what it takes. And then that one hit just blew up. But walk us through the importance of investing in the process. Because someone will hear you on Lumba's album and be like, okay, let me go to it. But they don't understand that you did over 200 features.
Not just that, I rehearsed 4 hours every day.
Wow.
Because when I came back, Tic Tac was the chairman of the music union for Greater Accra. Book Back were touring the world.
And these were your colleagues.
Exactly. Obrafo had developed so well that he had started a record label and he was doing Executions Diary that I featured on. Obuo had just emerged. Kwade was national.
Everywhere.
Lord Kenya was claiming I was. So these were my colleagues. Yeah. So I said, okay, they are using a certain concept of scarcity and choice because they are in demand. They hide themselves and people come to pay for them. Yeah. So how am I going to be able to flank their strategy and put myself at the forefront? So on big events that I wasn't even paid to, I'll go there, let my management hustle so I can be on it.
Wow.
You know, so I started calling my friends. I called Willie of Sky Power. I started calling Sam Mens because when he used to be at Joy, he was my big brother. Aww. So I'll call Sam Mens, senior bro, don't you have a show for me?
How important is it to keep these relationships? Because you're saying calling, but if you didn't mean something to them, they wouldn't have gone out of their way for you.
You know, in life, it's 1% inspiration, 90% perspiration. Yeah. It's a hustle, you know, so, and it's all built on bridges. Yeah. Everything is built on bridges. So, I had also learned that you have to be humble. Yeah. You have to humble yourself to the process. And I'd also read so much that I knew that as an artist, I'm only a vessel that the information from God is coming through. Yeah. So I didn't have the opportunity to become pompous. Yeah. You know, so even when I was making those big hits with Masanaba and Brebro Bahima and Yabeda, I was still quite humble because I had read before distraction, there's pride. Yeah. So I had developed great relationships. I think I was respectful to my elders. So when I came back, everybody wanted to hold my hand and bring me up. Kwegentwi, Lumba, Amachi Dede, Sam Mens, everybody wanted to hold my hand and bring me up because they had seen the fire in my eyes. Yeah. You know, so it's very, very respect for relationships. It's very, 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 very important.
What inspires your lyrics? Because every time you hear an Okyeame Kwame song, it's like you're listening to a professor, like a cool professor. What goes into your songwriting process?
It depends. Sometimes I would be asleep, I wake up and I get a song. Sometimes I will be doing something, then I get inspired. For example, this song, Faithful. I was in Nigeria for a performance, the red carpet event with D'banj and P Square and all those people. And then when you are artists from Ghana, you go to Nigeria, they treat you well. Wow. You know, so put me in a 5-star hotel at Lekki with a designated, 4x4 and a driver that sleeps at the hotel. So the last day before I came, he said, let's go to the university for you to go and get some girl now. Guy, you've been gentle, you've been good to me. So we went. At that time, I was dating Anika. We were not married. So we went to the place. And then immediately we got there, I saw these beautiful girls. And Anika was at tech at that moment, at that time. So when this guy was calling a girl for me, I realized that I have a girlfriend back home who is busy waiting for me, who will not do this thing that I'm about to do. So why don't I just go home? So I told the guy to go. So as we were going home, these lyrics just poured out and I wrote it.
Wow.
Because it was real. She is busy, waiting for somebody. You get it. So that's how sometimes, I guess, a song like...
Anika inspired it.
Yes, she inspired. No, Anika and a bad thing that I was going to do. Inspired it. So
wow.
Apart from that, a song like Small Small, I realized that the way now everything is so fast in the world, millennials don't have time.
Yeah.
When you meet a woman same night, you want information, Google. Everything is so fast. So I wanted to write a song to slow down the process. And then I wrote Small Small.
Wow.
If you want to walk with me, learn to crawl with me. Before you run with me, learn to walk with me. Before you fly with me, learn to run with me.
Wow.
Before you land with me, learn to fly with me. So I wanted to create a cool way to sort of bring people back that you have to move. You have to let the process work for you. So
you guys talked about your lyrics in 1 gallon.
In 1 gallon?
Yes, that a lot of my friends, that's what they used to pick up girls.
Yes.
So what inspired
1
your
gallon?
lyrics in 1 gallon?
I had gone to do a performance in Holland. When I came back, Flo Kingston had started playing the guitar. So he had written the song. I didn't write the chorus. So and I asked him the idea. He said, he's trying to create an analogy between love and a car. So these young boys at that time, they were so swift with words that for me to be able to be on the same song with them, I had to hit the metaphorical gym. So I went inside my head. I said, how am I going to be on this song without these people upstaging me? So I wrote my verse and I linked it to how the car that got an accident. That car was so troublesome that Anika and I used to call it the Antichrist. Everything in the car didn't work. Every week we are at the fittest. So Annie and I, we got our first case at the fittest. I'm telling you. Every day you are going to this car will spoil. So we used to call the car Antichrist.
But how do you process it to even make light of things like this? Like, look at it from the bright side.
I know. So, yes, I take it from the bright side. And I had also, through reading, especially when I read about yogic, the Asian cultures, they don't believe in perfection. Their concept of perfection is balance. When you are able to find good between the bad and a great situation. So balance, so I wasn't worried. I knew that everything that happens to me is an opportunity to write a dope wine, so
that people can relate to because it's their daily lives as well.
Exactly. So where's your bar for don't know net say what to susu na wakoto ka fufro anopa bi ya betwa ho check oil brake fluid na wa check so te na wa die ma shares first their shares first abrante power see chrome their clutch their botre ya ba second half clutch nya na eboni mu third gear say traffic ni mu a wetia so kakra wesi chrome na uko echere so donata ba hotel restaurant akese na muko when beba ho so na ka ne no petrol do nti wa shall see free we see kesana when it boga ya you lose ne ye maka when twi no hwi potholes ne bomb pins na be ma shock absorbers aye weak se fuel pump nya adwuma no ba na adwa carburetor twi no donat to see.
How do you get so detailed with all of this?
I think
it's so that you can visualize it.
Exactly. I think that's my gift. That was how they were supposed to, the education system was supposed to teach me, to show me pictures and show me visuals, not force me to regurgitate information and bring it out under pressure. Because some of us learn like that. So I'm very picturesque. Wow. I see everything in my mind.
But at that time, did you know the millions of lives you were touching with your lyrics?
I think at that age, this is around 2005, I think at that age I had come to understand that I'm an entertainer. And the same way Bob Marley's music gave me a coping mechanism, my music is giving a lot of people coping mechanisms. So to come back to the second thing that I consider when I'm writing my raps is that how poignant is this message? And 50 years from now, when I hear it, will I cringe? And when my children come to listen to a song and it's about sex and it's perverted, and it's not deep and it's mundane, how will my grandchildren feel about what will I be able to answer these questions? So I consider the morality, the decency, and also social context of the music that I'm writing. Wow. So I consider that one too. Then the third thing that I consider is, have I done this style before? Will I be repeating myself? Will it be novel? Is it a cliche? Is it different? So or is someone out there, is the competition doing it already? You know, so I consider that one too. And I want to create something that is totally unique.
What inspired you to say, okay, I'm not going to be an entertainer, but I'm going to draw attention to the fact that we need to develop this nation economically, and I'm going to charge the course for Made in Ghana?
So, tech, final year, a professor in critical thinking class told us that, you know, they say there are 5 senses, touch, feel, taste, sight, smell, or smell. But he told us that there's actually only one sense, which is the sense of touch. Okay. Because if I don't touch you, you can't feel me. Yeah. If my voice is not touching your eardrum, you can't hear me. Yeah. If light from your eyes is not touching the universe, you can't see. If, you know, so everything's about touch. So we finished the unit with the fact that the most important thing in life is to touch someone. Yeah. Because every sensation that you have happens within you. So if my life was going to mean something, this is a time where I was Artist of the Year. I was performing every other weekend and making a lot of money. But I realized that still didn't fulfill the hunger in me to do something more. But that gave me perspective on life. So I started the Hepatitis B project. It's like 10 years ago. And so every year on the 28th of July, we will do free screening, free vaccination. We engage the media, we engage stakeholders and try to bring attention to hepatitis. And now look, almost everybody knows about it. I'm not saying I did it alone, but I think that myself and some other agencies and, you know, contributed. And today, hepatitis is popular. Yeah. So after I'd done the hepatitis for a while, I said that I wanted to do AU made me the AU ambassador about 3 years ago. Nice. And as part of my responsibilities, I decided to do an album called Africa Connection. So I featured lots of African artists. Wow. But before we will release the African Connection, my management said, we have not done anything for Ghana. Why are you going to do Africa? Charity begins at home. Yeah. So we took our time with African Connection, and then we recorded a Made in Ghana album. Wow. Yes. Wow. To bring attention. Sense of identity and pride. Because another thing that has made me poignant or relevant is that I always draw from around me. Yeah. I'm drawing from Adwa Kitty. I'm drawing from Kente. I'm drawing from Ghana women. I'm drawing from our mothers at the marketplace. Speaking
of drawing from, what should we expect come tomorrow?
Oh, man.
D2R. Give us a little bit of what to expect.
I don't know. So expect a lot of culture.
Okay.
Expect electrifying performance. Expect collaborations. Expect me to bring a lot of the people that I've done features with on stage. Myself, I don't want to mention.
Don't name them yet.
Expect a live performance. I'm not coming to mime. No way. Wow. No way. I'm bringing a whole band. Expect African fashion. Ooh. Expect leadership.
Hey.
Yes.
We're not sitting down when you get on the stage.
Oh, no way.
So I hope you would. I mean, come on, you're Okyeame Kwame. So
fresh.
It's important. A lot of people are coming because of you, and we're so proud of all the contributions you've made to this industry and this country and everything that you are.
Oh, thank you.
Anyone who's not bought the ticket yet and is watching, what do you want to tell them?
I just want to say that don't wait. You know, D2R is 13 years old. I've been on it from the beginning. Don't wait. It is always a full house. Yeah. It is always the best party for December. Now, look, almost all the church programs are called December to remember.
I know.
That should tell you that it's showing leadership. So don't wait. And this year, there are chairs, there's VIP, drinks, food, and live music, and great artists like Kwame, myself, you know, Kenata.
All the young boys.
The young boys are coming. Man, please. This is the party. This is the zeitgeist. You know, so please, be a part of it. That's all that I want to say. Just come and have an amazing time. And I know this is the year of return. Yeah. I'm seeing a lot of the returnees. If you are looking for true culture with class and style, D2R is the thing. So come tomorrow.
Yes,
come and let's party.
Okyeame Kwame, thank you
so
much for spending your morning with us. Any advice for young people watching us about just life in general?
I just want to say that follow the process. follow the easy come, easy goes. So follow the process. You can't, if you become a billionaire overnight, you lose it overnight. So follow the process. And also, if you have not had the opportunity to, say, go to the university, that's not all. Become an apprentice. If you learn how to sew, learn how to make shoes, because the world is getting to a point where information in your mind will mean nothing. Because there's information on Google, on Siri, on everywhere. Information in your mind means nothing. It is what you do with information. So it's a concept of intel and intelligence. Please, learn some soft skills that computers cannot replicate, so that when you are 50, you will still be employed.
Thank you very much for spending your morning with us.
Yeah, thank you.
You can catch him at December to Remember tomorrow. If you've not gone to get your tickets yet, take out your phone and dial *447 *973#. Hi there. I hope you enjoyed the show. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share with all of your friends. This is Breakfast Daily on Citi TV.
Join the Breakfast Daily team Monday through Fridays from 7:30 a.m. to 10. Join us for breakfast daily, only on Citi TV.